Cheer Chat. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Happy Rose Day. I hope you guys are all doing well. I am excited to chat tonight. Well, first of all, let me just explain why you saw an episode be launched. I'm still done, you guys. I promise. This is not a Tom Brady situation. I was asked if I wanted to interview Quentin and Maddie from Amazing Race. And, you hear from a PR firm. I mean, what are you going to do? But say yes. And it was such a fun episode. I hope you guys enjoy listening to it. I know it's coming on tonight, so I'm going to have to, you know, never done. Hi, Jazz. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I am never done. But this is a bonus episode that went live today. As it was, this was the song that kept our, NFL cheerleaders energized and not going crazy. It was so fun talking to them. I've never watched The Amazing Race, you guys. I don't know if you guys are big fans of the show, but that was a first for me. And so I was hella into it. And now I feel like I'm going to continue to watch, even though getting me to stick to any TV show is like Mission Impossible. But I am loving Abbott Elementary, so I think there's a little bit of a conflict in terms of when they come on TV. Who loves Abbott Elementary? Like, I freaking love that show. I don't know if it just reminds me of my days living in Philly or what, but um, that show's so fun. So I am trying to do a good job of watching that one. But anyway, check out As It Was. If you're watching The Amazing Race, we should just yap it up. It's a bad night for me to be going live because it comes out on Wednesdays, um, but yeah, I told them to come back and just give us updates or whatever. So they said they'd be down. So we'll see what happens. But it's fun to chat with them. I popped out an episode, you guys. What can I say? To that, I'll drink. Hold on one sec. Okay. Sometimes you just need to woo-saw. You know what I mean? Like, how are y'all doing? Like, how is your week going? Mercury's out of retrograde, but now it's fall and it's like weird weather and you don't know if you want to be hot or cold. Like, I'm just this is why rosé is just kind of eases it away. Okay, anyway, so what are we talking about tonight? I put it in the description. This whole Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders and Marvel collaboration, I have been a little bit obsessed ever since they announced it, so I want to talk about that. And then there's just been a lot of travel going on, like all over my story and feed or whatever the hell you want to call it. Teams have been going to a lot of these exhibition games preseason for the NBA. The Saints and the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders were just in London. So just observations and just, maybe me whining a little bit about wishing that people would just jump on live with me and talk to me about like what it was like. Like I'm kind of like the only person trying to do like media coverage of pro cheerleaders. I mean, of course, there's like write-ups on the website and stuff, for your team, but like trying to share information and like have it be live and interactive is just it's so hard when people have to like get permission to talk and then it's just like such a thing and all I really want to do is be like, what was your favorite part and tell us a fun memory. You know what I mean? Like, don't you want to feel like you were there? Anyway, since I don't have that, I'll just be like sharing little observations. But first things first, it said it paused. It paused. Sorry. It shouldn't be my connection, but I guess it is. Last week we were talking about uniforms, and I just have to give a little shout out to the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals. They pop off with their little new uniform. They're all white out night uniform. Of course, on Thursday for Thursday night football. And so I actually thought it was really freaking cute. Like it would have made it into the conversation last week if they had debuted it a day earlier for Cheer Chat. But it's all white. It's just like, just blingy and it looked really good on the girls. I was actually really pumped when I saw a glimpse of it. They did a little tease on their Instagram. I don't think they're as like active on Instagram as most other teams, but they kind of did like this whole we're going to do a reveal and then they just didn't say anything for like a couple days. And I'm like, come on, we already saw it on other people's posts. Like, show us the uniform, but it's super cute. Hi, Maddie. Girl, if you want to join and talk about tonight's episode, come on. I know it's not on yet technically, but so fun chatting with you and thank you for joining. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the Bengals. I thought the uniforms were really, really cute and they would have made it on my like list of favorites from last week if I saw it earlier. And I also wanted to give a shout out because Deanna Pearl, who's a coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, she's one of the coaches. She was on the podcast. She did a Morris Brown episode about her time at Howard University as an ooh la la girl. She posted a video of your performance from your Thursday night football, and you guys are killing it. I thought like the ripples and just like so much action going on, and you looked so good in white. Like, if you heard that, that was my dog. I'm so sorry. Goodness, she's just been going through it lately. Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to you guys because you like look really, really good. I need to post that in my story. Anywho, I'm gonna drink because I'm just running my mouth, and then we're gonna get into the Colts. Okay. Okay. So I put it in the story, and I actually forgot to check my own damn poll to see what you guys think. But after you watch this, go vote. So the Indianapolis Colts, not just the cheerleaders, but the whole entire organization, did a collaboration with Marvel Entertainment, which I think is just freaking sports marketing brilliance at its best, right? Because here you have, I mean, a plethora of opportunities to kind of, I mean, man, just the whole collaboration of showcasing like the athleticism of their players and turning them into superheroes. It's not just their cheerleaders, it's their players. They have like this whole little video that they created where that they pick certain players. And I can't say that I've completely followed the Colts, but lots of their players, I feel like there were like 5 or 6 of them, kind of had their descriptions of like their superpowers. And then they also did that for the dancers as well as their mascot. And so when I first saw like the little teasers for this, I was kind of like, okay, that's interesting. What the heck are they going to do? And of course, I thought it was all about the girls. I didn't even think about them using the guys, but of course, that makes sense. But how dope is it that they did anticipate using the women that are on the Colts cheerleading team as part of this collaboration? We are often left out of cool things, or it's more of an afterthought, but like this was planned out. And so I don't know who needs to be thanked, whether it's from Marvel, the Colts organization, if that's just how you guys are wired. But I just thought it was super cool that you guys were fully integrated into this whole Marvel situation. Okay, so let me just, the little picture that I shared in the story, where you can vote on whether you're feeling the collab or not. So they described their little superpowers. I thought were kind of cute. Exceptional acrobatic agility, spreads extraordinary joy and sparkle, and working professional by day, superhero by Sunday. So I thought that that was a cute nod to like just being an NFL cheerleader, right? I mean, they're recognizing their talent and their acrobatic agility, right? Just in the fact that they're dancers, and just that we bring the joy, man. We bring the sparkle, and I don't know. I just thought it was really, really cute. They dressed up, you guys, like with the whole shields, Jets and Chargers. I'll get to you, but basically, no, there ain't no update on the Jets or the Chargers, unfortunately. Not that I know of, anyway. Maybe it's under wraps, but somebody in YouTube land asked a question, so sorry. As soon as I know something, y'all know something. Um, but in terms of their uniforms, they did like a whole cape situation. They had the little, what do you call this? I cannot believe I couldn't think of the word sequins last week. I'm not over that. But they had like a headband like superheroes have, and then they had like little bracelet cuff situation. They had shields. Like, I just thought it was so cute how they totally played up into the theme. Um, and then they had like, so this is, like I said, an organization wide collaboration, and it's so freaking smart. I kid you not. Like, um, they have like Marvel characters that like doing appearances. They were at the game. They kind of had a whole little recap reel that I think I also shared in the story. So you had Spider-Man and Thor and Captain America, I think. Y'all, I don't know Marvel, okay? I'm not even excited about this because I am a Marvel person. My son is a Marvel person. I watch Black Panther and some of the Marvel movies, but I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I just thought it was really brilliant to have like the promo giveaways. They gave away like a can cooler. They're giving away comic books, and so there's a series of like, I think, 3 games that they're doing this collaboration all during the month of October. They have a pro shop collection where they have like co-branded Marvel slash Colts attire, in-game promotions and entertainment. And I just thought like having like the mascot in a uniform, having the cheerleaders in a uniform. In that video, they even had like their like starting lineup where they're cheering on the guys, like different playing with the shields, and just I just thought it was so creative and cute and fun. The choreography for their performances like incorporated all of that superhero vibes. They do cool things. I have to give it to them. Like ever since I saw like, what was it? It was like a halftime performance with their drum line where the lights were off in the whole entire stadium. Rose's kicking in. And just, fluorescent lights, and they did a whole dance routine with their drum line. I thought that was like the best incorporation of a drum line that I've seen at games, at least that's posted. Somebody said it was amazing to see in person. Yeah, I just think that they really do unique things. And I'm going to say something else about Colts Cheer. Um, it looked like from some other posts that they had some kids learning like a halftime because they all had their little capes on too. I just want to point out brilliant marketing when I see it because obviously, like Marvel, you think kids, like somebody with the brains was putting two and two together. But for them to, they have so many youth related programs with the Colts. Like, I can't even count how many halftime performances these kids must have. And they're constantly interacting with the youth through the Colts Cheer organization, which I think is pretty dope. And so to have, if they did have a halftime performance that involved the kids wearing their little capes while the cheerleaders are in superhero form, like, I just think they're really kind of doing something special there. Um, so, oh, yay. Hi. There's some Colts cheerleaders in the house. Okay. So, yes, our junior cheerleaders in Down syndrome. That's right. Thank you. The Down syndrome Indiana did a halftime performance with us. They seem like they do so much with their junior cheer program, and it's fantastic. Yes, I know I'm not crazy. You guys, so I'm like following everybody on Instagram. I barely sleep, so I'm scrolling around at weird hours of the night. And sometimes it's like, did I really see that for real, for real? But yes, you had um, just so many kids with you guys. And I love that you had, oh my gosh, see, the outreach is real. And I just think what better way for us to touch as many people as possible than by like working with kids and having the Marvel connection on top of it. Psh. And what parent, if their kid's hella into Marvel, is not going to be like, oh, we're going to that football game because they're giving away a Marvel bobblehead of the mascot? Like, of course. So brilliant. So brilliant. Hi, Ray says, I love Marvel. And he's oh, cheer coach, cheer stand now. Love it. Yeah, this is pretty damn cool. I think they are so genuine as well. I mean, just you spend that much time, and it's not, how like sometimes you think about the junior cheer programs. Yes, it's community outreach, but it's also a way of bringing income into the organization. And you can kind of tell when it's kind of like we're just going to do a one and done it. We're going to work with all these kids. It's a little bit of a production, and then that's it. Like preseason game, we're done. It just seems like this organization really, it's just part of their fabric where they have this outreach and this connection to the youth where they're seeing them multiple times a year even. Like I don't know all the details of it, but from what I can see, it just seems really endearing and that they enjoy it. It's not like a way to bring money into the program. It's just like we want to hang out with our community vibes. I love it. I love it. I just wanted to give a shout out. I know it's a little like, what are they doing with this whole Marvel thing? But when you see the bigger picture of all of the things that they were doing, again, with the players, the fan promotions, like it's very, very integrated. And so shout out to whoever was just smart enough and thoughtful enough to make sure the cheerleaders were incorporated into that. I think that was a great move. I would have been talking crap with my rose if they were left out. Like if it was just, the players, the mascot, and not the cheerleaders. Now I will make an observation though. Let me get a comment too. The fact that the junior cheerleaders have costumes and not just t-shirts shows that they're invested. Amen to that. Like the cheerleaders, the junior cheerleaders that they had their own little capes. Like they were part of the whole Marvel show. It just shows that they thought it through. And that's all I think I'm ever fussing about is like when it's like an afterthought or they didn't fully, utilize the dancers and cheerleaders in the ways that they could. Yeah. So the little observation that I noted was that when I saw kind of like the markup of like the comic book character version of the cheerleaders, in the bottom left corner there is an NFLPA little logo, the NFL Players Association, because they also did these comic book mock-ups of the players themselves that were involved in the promotion. I swear there were like 6 of them. And so I don't know if they were like pinpointing particular Colts cheerleaders, but if I were looking at that, I might be able to kind of piece together what 3 cheerleaders that they fashioned that off of. And it just made me think that's your image and likeness, right? And for the NFLPA logo to be in the part of the branding, if you will, of this whole Marvel comic stuff, I bet you that the NFL players who they did these comic book variations of got a little piece of the pie, so to speak, of all of the merch and all of the things that they're doing to promote that. I'm guessing that's why the logo's there, but it just made me think, dang it, like if you actually like think for example, if you think about Quentin that has his own little, what do you call those things? Bobblehead, big old head. Oh my gosh, what do you call those? See, why does my brain just go psh? You know the little characters and they have a big old head and a little old body. Quentin I know has one from the Rams, and I don't know all his business, and I'm not trying to even suggest that he didn't get any sort of compensation or whatever for it. It's obviously amazing exposure, but that little thing that I can't think of has my son has a whole collection of these things. Why can't I think of it? It'll hit me like after I press stop. But anyway, the point is, it has like his blonde hair. It's clearly made in his likeness. And I don't know if he has any sort of like deal associated with that, but I know probably that the NFLPA comes in to negotiate those rights so that the players do get to see a piece of that. So anyway, as soon as I think of the name of it, I'm gonna like want to kick myself. But I'm just making observations. It's a wonderful opportunity. I'm not knocking anything about it. Um, but it's just stuff to think about, right? Like if you have a Barbie doll made in your honor that looks like you, has your hairstyle, all of the things, like, and they sell it, shouldn't you know what I mean? Shouldn't we be thinking about name, image, and likeness like the collegiate players now? And we don't, you know? Anyway, okay. See, Makiva's always trying to add a little extra sauce. Um, I'm really about to call my son and be like, what the hell do you call that dang on doll? Okay. Changing gears and maybe it'll hit me. Let me know if you guys have any comments on that. Check out the video and check out the website. It has like the whole promo where you can see what they're doing with the guys, but I just think it's so cool. And then we'll talk about all this international travel. I can't think of it. Damn, it's gonna mess with me. All right, international travel. The pop toys. Quentin, what do you call the freaking things that you have that with the big head and the little body? Mm. What do you call all those not creatures, those little characters that you collect? Funko Pops. Funko freaking Pops. Thank you. Thanks. Funko Pops. Thank you. Thank you guys. I'm a little late. Funko Pops. That's what they're called. Struggle bus today. Okay. Maybe I should do it on like a Tuesday or a Friday. Why do I struggle on Wednesdays? Okay, now we're going to talk about travel because I'll rewind a little bit. I got the pleasure of going to see one of the exhibition games for the Los Angeles Clippers. They were here in Seattle. They played a team from Israel, I believe. And then they also played the Blazers on a couple nights ago. Anyway, I feel like there's a hair caught on my nose ring. Whatever. I'm just falling apart, guys. Okay. Anyway, I got to see the Spirit Dancers perform, and it was really, really. Thank you guys for helping me out, Funko Pop. They performed a couple times during the game. I took some video, shared it in the story, and then it just kind of like hit me that there was just a lot of traveling going on last week and these past couple days. So shout out to the Clipper Spirit Dancers. I thought you did a really, really great job. It was fun to see them do 2 different styles. I thought that they were just like queens of hip hop and only did hip hop, but they did that for one of their performances, and then they were like jamming out to Lizzo, and it just looked like they had fun. Like they're so hard hitting hip hop sometimes that I enjoyed the Lizzo performance because it was just something different from them, I thought. But again, I don't get to see your performances all the time, so it might have been kind of like how you always mix it up, but I always just see you guys featuring hip hop on your story or like your Instagram. But great job. I hope you enjoyed Seattle. The weather was behaving, and now it's not. That's why I'm in a sweater. The Laker girls right now are in Las Vegas. The Atlanta Hawks dancers are in freaking Dubai. Can you imagine being able to go to Dubai? Like, that's nuts. Like, nuts. There's like a handful, I want to say 5 or 6 dancers, but traveling all that far and being selected by your team. I think it's their captains that have traveled and a few other teammates, but what an opportunity. I mean, whoa, that's crazy. Like, just the flight itself over there was probably posh just because, those international flights that go that long, I feel like they have to give you something, you know what I mean? But what a great opportunity for them. The Wizards dancers and the Golden State Warriors Gold Squad, they were all the way in Japan, and it looks like they came home right in time. I don't know if you guys have seen the news, um, but it looked like a great opportunity to go over there. They took one of their male dancers. I think I mentioned that last week, but it's just nice seeing the footage. And again, I would so wish that people could just be like, I'm going to join you really quick, pop in for 5 minutes and be like, yeah, Japan was amazing. We got to do X, Y, and Z, the stuff that you might not see on social media. And then it's not like a big, we have to ask for permission. I'm not going to ask you a trick question. Like, isn't it just like, aren't we family by now? I just wish we could do that. But again, it just looks really cool. And it looks like the bonding between the two squads being there together. I love that both teams were able to go. Um, it didn't look like the Milwaukee Bucks 414 crew were in Abu Dhabi. I might be wrong about that, but I didn't see anything posted on social media. Um, and then the Saints cheerleaders and the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders were in London. I love looking at all the London footage. I know that Lindsay goes from Lindsay Rose Photo. Lindsay Rosenberg, I'm sure everybody knows who she is. Amazing photographer. And she works on the production side actually for a lot of the NFL international games. And so she takes these amazing pictures. But just seeing like the performances, there were some fans there that were posting the footage of them performing at FanFest, and I should just reshare stuff, but yeah, it was just really really exciting. Even in Japan, there was like another like dance team that was I think local that performed with the Wizards dancers and the Golden State Warriors dancers, and I actually should have wrote it down because they were killing it. They had their own performance, and then they kind of were incorporated into I think a performance with the other two teams that were there. But I just love seeing the collabs, right? I think that's like the whole theme of tonight is like the collaborations and seeing the teams being able to go to these amazing countries together. I feel like the bonding, like how cool is that to get to know teammates from, other parts of the league, and getting to spend time. I don't know how much you're really interacting. Like I couldn't sense that the Saints and the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders like had a lot of interaction like that. But cheering in that stadium, I really do want to hear a firsthand account. Even if you didn't go, if you went another year and you want to pipe in and talk about it, like I just think that experience must be crazy. That stadium is beautiful, and seeing it filled to the nines. Like Seahawks are going to Germany this year, and I don't think that the Germany we'll have to see what that fan base is like. From everything I hear, everybody's all soccer over there, football, um, the real football in their minds. But I just think the energy from people who do follow NFL abroad and seeing everybody kind of gather around that in these other countries that don't get to see these players on a regular basis, and you guys being able to represent for your teams, I just think it's so fun and cool to watch. I love traveling, and I'm just gonna make my plug right now after I take a sip. Um, that hey, I wish that I could get like some media pass, right? Where I can go to any game I want to. I don't have to pay for tickets. I can go and just totally focus on the cheerleaders and dancers, report on it, interview you guys, like just have like you guys all know Ari, right? From Highlight Her that started this whole movement with covering the WNBA because it's so important. The WNBA is so important. I forget how I'm probably screwing up the tagline, but I love and respect her so much because she knew that the WNBA was not getting the coverage that it deserves, women's sports in general. And she just decided she was going to highlight it her damn self and just really kind of draw attention. And she did it all with her phone, interviewing people and just showing her love for women's basketball. And I don't want to like compare myself to her by any means, but I feel like with the podcast, what I've been trying to do, even if I'm not producing episodes, is just highlight you guys and like talk about what you're doing and give my little 2 cents on what you're doing. But at the end of the day, this is all about like celebrating our space and talking about what you're up to and sharing out the amazing things that you're doing. And I just wish that there was a little bit of less of a barrier, you know what I mean, when it comes to talking about just checking in with y'all. That's all. I'm just gonna say, like, I wish that I could just have you guys join me, have it be interactive. Like I've debated going to different platforms where you can kind of be like, more incognito, anonymous, and we could just all chat. Like I thought about like Spotify's Green Room. There's Discord. There's so many options of all these social media platforms, and it's just like, yes, not another social media. I totally get it. It takes everything in me to like get my life together, sort of, to come on and chat with you guys for cheer chat. But it would just be so cool if it was open like that, where people felt like they could just jump in and join me. I'm not gonna be like trying to trick and stunt people with like tough questions where you would probably want to get your directors of permission, like, just give us a little like live updates. That would be fun and nice. I don't have much else to say other than what I see on social media. But I will say that I have been observing that teams have been posting more of it's kind of like a reel, I guess, which reels are the death of me. I'm trying to make them, but I swear. Anyway, I'm seeing more reels that kind of like do a little bit of a montage of game day. And remember how I've been wanting to kind of promote like what you guys do and having like a fun interactive thing where we can kind of like vote for our favorite thing. Maybe if teams keep doing that, it's not going to be synced to the music, right, that you're actually performing to. It's not like a end-to-end video of your performances, but I'm still thinking of ways that I can do like a playoff fun interactive thing where we just kind of like vote on our favorite, I don't know, performances or different aspects of game day, whether it's like the most creative tunnel. The best example I can think of is like, okay, I'm a little bit obsessed, but the Raiderettes have to me the cutest like freaking like field entrance. I don't know what else to call it, but the way that they kind of like skip and like strut their little behinds to the yard line, not yard lines. They do it, we called it the numbers, but basically the numbers on the field. And so when the teams just kind of like skip and strut their little way to the numbers and do their whole routine, like I would love to see what other teams do in terms of their entrance onto the field when they perform. I would love to be able to compare like, your pregame routines. Like some teams travel along the yard lines and do like the traditional NFL style, like get to the center of this stadium and like this is your whole performance for pregame. I know not every team does that, but I want to see if there's a way to kind of see what other teams do. And I'm really struggling with how to like launch it, but I'm just going to put it out there right now because I saw some videos of the Raiderettes performances and they kind of do it by squad, right? Because, when you're broken up in the four corners, you go out to your numbers, probably on the 20s, and you go do a routine. If anybody who's out there who's on a team that has a better entrance than what I've seen with the Raiderettes, with their skip and their whole little strut thing that they do, and they do that on and off the field. If you have a better field entrance than that, please send me the video of it. I'll give my little 2 cents, but I would love to just it's just to have fun, you guys, right? Like a little poll or something where we can kind of see like who has the most creative, whether it's your tunnel and the way that you do the player tunnel, the way you enter the field. Obviously, there's all these copyright things with your actual full performance, but that's the way that I want to play. I can't travel to every single game, y'all. I just can't. I wish I could, but I can't. So I'm enjoying the little mashups, the reels that teams are creating. It's kind of hard to compare them to each other, but I'm still trying to think of ways to do it. But I'm going to put a challenge out there right now. If you can top this entrance on and off the field from the Raiderettes, send it to me and we'll see what everybody else has to say about it. I'm convinced this is going to work somehow. I just got to figure it out. But and also I'm not even excluding like the semi-pro teams, right? Or like the other pro teams that I always say this podcast covers the whole space, but I do tend to only talk about NBA, NFL. This is like across the board. Sidekick dancers, like what are the names of the ones in Arizona? Like there's so many other teams, y'all. The Philly teams, whether it's like now I'm just going to be messing things up. But the point is there are so many other teams beyond NBA and NFL, and you guys are all included. If you have a really cute way that you do things for game day, whatever that might be, just tag me or share it with me and message me. Like I want to kind of like start highlighting it in a fun way where we can all interact with each other. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking about it until it crystallizes in my head how to do it. But I'm throwing the gauntlet down. If your team has a better field entrance than the Raiderettes, send it to me and we will do a little poll and we'll talk about it because I don't know. I want to talk about what y'all do, which is the dancing. Come on. That's what we're here for, right? That's what I'm about. And I'm just going to also share, I'm going to try to post more of like the things that I'm obsessed with. And lately there is this choreographer in California. His name, I just posted him. It's like not Tevin. It's like Tevin Cole or something like that. Well, please. The point is, it just made me think of like what I'm missing in terms of like variation in choreography. And I know, yes, that's his name. Tevin Cole. Yes, Tevin Cole. So many followers on Instagram. Posts like such cute throwback choreography. It gives you complete 80s vibes. I'm obsessed. I've been like so obsessed with all the choreography that's on this page. But it's just a craving that I have of like wanting to see different types of routines incorporated into pro cheer and dance because you see, I said it in Industry Baby, my last episode, before this bonus episode, of just kind of like, you just kind of get to see the same thing over and over again. And I love anything that catches my eye that's different. That's why I really liked the Cincinnati Bengals choreography. It was just ripples and different visual effects that you don't often see. Um, but I just hope that I see teams starting to work with some of these like amazing choreographers, whether they're LA or New York based, maybe not the ones that you tend to think of. But if somebody pulled out a freaking classic like this Tevin Cole person pumps out on the regular, a whole little throwback vibe, pull out your old uniforms and kill a routine from the 80s, like, man, listen, that would be so fun. I'm just expressing what I would like to see. I mean, I think it would be cute and cool, just something different, right? Like, be unique, be different. And hopefully we can post it and talk about it. And maybe there'll be a whole like throwback category that we can kind of like, anyway, I want a playoffs. If I made that clear, I want to do something fun and interactive where we can talk about the performances, share the performances, vote on the performances in a fun way, and recognize how hard you guys are working on Tuesday, Thursday nights. Okay? You guys are dancing. That's first and foremost, right? So that's my plug. What else do I have? I think that's kind of it. I need to make these chit chats shorter because I'm not going to remix them and put them edit them, and I don't have time. But that's all I have for right now. Anybody else want to talk? So again, YouTube land, I'm so sorry. I don't have any updates on the Jets and Chargers other than they were supposed to go co-ed and they just never have done it. So sorry. I don't have more information than that. What's up, Michelle? I haven't seen you in forever. We need to chat. But if you guys have nothing else, I'm going to finish my rosé. I'm going to watch The Amazing Race and Abbott Elementary. Hopefully you guys are watching to listen to the episode. It was so fun. And if you have topics for next week, let me know. I kind of go live as I feel like I have something to talk about. But if you have something you want to talk about, hit me up and we will chat. Next week's cheer chat. Love y'all. I will talk to you hopefully next week. Bye.